What will happen to Bitcoin next? If you're interested in knowing more about this, please keep watching. Bybit is one of the best exchanges I've ever used. Now, complete KYC and make a $500 deposit, and you'll get a $1,000 Ethereum position. Click the link below, and you'll be taken to Bybit's special offer webpage. After completing KYC and making a $500 deposit, you can choose a long or a short position. There are only 48 spots left, and it's very likely that this promotion won't be offered again. So, I highly recommend you complete KYC and deposit now to receive your free $1,000 Ethereum position. Now, let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. We've talked about the daily chart many times. Let's start by looking at the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart. Yesterday, a group member pointed out that the price is making a higher high. It's making a higher high, right? I mean a higher low. But in fact, we have a lower high here. So we can't say that the market is currently in a bullish trend. In a bullish trend, we would need to see at least this pattern before we can define it as such. This is a bearish trend, while this, on the other hand, is a bullish trend. In either of these two scenarios, we can find a characteristic that there will always be a pair of higher lows and a pair of higher highs. This is a characteristic that a bullish trend must have. A bearish trend, on the other hand, will have a pair of lower highs and lower lows. Therefore, comparing the highs and lows over time is the best way to distinguish whether the price is in a bullish or bearish trend. Currently, you can see that we're having a higher low and a lower high. Well, in this kind of situation, at most, we can only define it as oscillation. It hasn't shown any bullish or bearish trend. And here, you'll see that if we draw it like this, hey, we can see a pattern emerging. What's this pattern? We can see that the current price is converging. There was no convergence before, only volatile oscillation. Now, it's converging, right? For example, at this point, the price was oscillating in a box pattern. This kind of oscillation can be very tormenting. If you hold a position at this point, you'll easily lose patience, because trend trading doesn't generate much profit. Short-term trading is not easy either. I rarely do short-term trading in my channel. Let's look at this type of pattern, which is a converging pattern. It indicates that the price may have a direction next. If the price breaks through this pattern with strong volume, then it's very likely that the price movement will have a real direction. Let's see. When will the trend direction establish in this pattern? Usually, not at the bottom. If the price has already reached a point like this pattern is usually considered invalid. We don't wait until it reaches that point. Generally, this kind of pattern with a converging shape occurs when the trend has lasted about 70%. About 70% of this pattern. That's when we typically get a direction. For example, we may get a direction at this point. This is a more common scenario. If the price has already reached the end of the entire trend, the direction it gives, even if there is a direction, it is very likely to be a false one. All right, let's take a look at this. Currently, at this position, we can actually draw a pattern that is similar to a head and shoulders. Pattern. You will find this pattern if the price breaks through here. This line. If we observe a large red candle penetrating this level, it may be a good opportunity to short it. We can hold the short position until at least 27,000. The 27,000 level is actually the most important support level from the previous period. If the support level of 27,000 is broken, then I believe that the current small bull market may come to an end. However, the support level of 27,000 must be broken first. The support level of 27,000 is at the bottom of the pattern. Let's see how Bitcoin reacts when it tests this level. If the BTC price can reach 27,000. If it can't reach here, we can wait and see what direction it takes. It'll happen very quickly. If we want to determine the position of 70% of the pattern, where should we plot? For example, from here, based on this line, it will take about 30 or 31 days. If it's 70%, it will take about 21 days. 20 to 21 days. We will soon know the most probable direction. In determining the direction, there is a small trick that we can use. What's it? Let me change to another area. Before explaining it, it's something like this. Look at this. The pattern we're having now is a converging isosceles triangle. Let's plot two different scenarios. If the price has an upside breakout, what will the likely situation be like? Or if it develops into this situation, we can determine that it is more likely to have an upside breakout. This is a typical market trend, with several points touching the upper and lower boundaries. At approximately 70% of the pattern, the price experiences a drop, but it hasn't reached the bottom yet. Before reaching the bottom, the price has hit the upper boundary. Usually, in this situation, the price will have an upside breakout. We can see that the contact points are quite obvious right now. You can see that positions like this and this have very clear patterns. Their contact points are along these lines. Moreover, as long as there are 2 or 3 contact points along both lines, it is sufficient. You can see that there are many contact points here, which can confirm the pattern's validity. Now let's assess another situation. What's the key point you can see? Here? That is where it should touch the lower boundary. But before it does, it hits the upper boundary. In this position, we can determine that it is more likely to break through upward. Of course, trading is a matter of probability, after all. If it is more likely to break through downward, how will the movement be? Initially, there will be many contact points above and below, forming the pattern. Then, when it's supposed to hit the upper boundary, it doesn't. The price only goes halfway, or it's weak, and then it hits the lower boundary. This can indicate that the buying force is insufficient, and the demand is insufficient in the lower region. It bounces up a bit. It hasn't touched the upper boundary, and then goes back down, hitting the lower boundary. In a situation like this, the price will likely break through downward. Usually, when this happens, opening some positions may be better, because sometimes we need some time to confirm the volume. When is the best timing to add positions? The best point to add positions is when it rebounds. It rebounds and fails to surpass this level from where it drops, and then it falls again. Whoa! So, the overall trend can be grasped very well. This is roughly the current market situation. If the price is still fluctuating and within the pattern, I personally will wait a bit longer. Short-term trading may be fine, but for the trend traders to yield a wave of returns, at least wait for the pattern to be broken. Okay, later, after a few hours, at 2 a.m., GMT +8, we will have the next Fed meeting. The outcome of the Fed meeting is expected to be an interest rate hike of 1 basis point. And, the expected interest rate hike is 25 basis points, bringing it to 5.25%, with a 5.25% interest rate. Basically, most people will believe that this is the final interest rate of the current rate hike cycle. That means there will be no more rate hikes after this. They will maintain the interest rate and consider the time to start cutting rates. What I think is very important this time is that if Fed Chairman Powell speaks, his speech will really affect the market. We can look at the probability part. For the probability part, as you can see, now everyone believes that May 3rd is the last interest rate hike, which is 25 basis points. Then the 5.25% rate will remain unchanged. On June 14th, it'll still be the same. On July 26th, then we will start cutting interest rates. However, this prediction is a little optimistic because the Fed has publicly stated that they will not consider cutting interest rates before 2024. However, since a bank in the United States has recently failed, we will see how tonight goes. We'll also do a live broadcast for everyone tonight, because tonight's market is still very important for the future, and it will be a decisive factor. So on May 4th, at 1:30 a.m. GMT +8, which is 5 hours from now, we will broadcast the interest rate announcement and the press conference, PCE. I actually think that the PCE is more important than the interest rate announcement, because the interest rate is basically a 0.25% interest rate hike. All right. Thank you. You are all invited to attend the offline seminar, hosted by BitGet and me, at Kaohsiung Palace, on May 6th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. You're invited. Admission is completely free, and there will be great prizes to be won, and you'll get high-quality, informative content. We welcome you all to attend. Like my videos, share my videos, and subscribe to my channel to show me your greatest support. Thank you very much. Bye.